Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of the Middle Georgia Spotlight. I'm your host, Jack Ellis. Thank you so much for joining us this week, as we appreciate you joining us every week. I want to ask that you will watch us on YouTube, the Middle Georgia Spotlight. You can watch us on YouTube. And this program is made possible by Caduceus Medicine and by J. Franklin Automotives. And, of course, the people here at WMUB Mercer University. But let me hasten to add that the views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Mercer University, WMUB, and or our sponsors. But joining us in the spotlight this week is Jerry Anderson. Jerry Anderson was a household name when I returned to Macon in 1989. I didn't know Mr. Anderson, but I heard of Mr. Anderson, and those of us who were around here in the 90s, late 80s and 90s, we heard about Jerry Anderson, this man who some people were reverent, say he was doing so much good in the community, and others said he was a para in the communities, that he was doing bad. So we'll let you decide what was good and bad, because as the Pope said recently, who am I to judge? But welcome to our program. Join me in welcoming to our program, Mr. Jerry Anderson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. Now, Jerry, it's not news anymore, if you will. Most people that were around, as I said, during the 90s, will know that you were considered a drug kingpin in Macon, Georgia, that you had all the money and that you were spreading it around and you were making a lot of it. Was that a fair characterization of where you were? And dealing crack cocaine or cocaine?
Both of them, crack cocaine and cocaine. Yeah, that'd be fair to say that. I had a lot of money, but all my thing was just to help my mother out. That was all it was about. But money just came, money just started coming, and I got a chance to start helping the people out. A lot of people that was poor and needed stuff. I had all the money I had more money I don't ever need. So I just started dishing money out, helping everybody, and it made me feel good, even though it was wrong. But I still give people money because it was the right thing to do, but it was a bad thing.
So it was easy money, if you will. When I say easy money, because people, but you didn't put a gun to anyone that hasn't forced them to buy, ingest cocaine. They came to you because you had a product that they wanted.
There you go. It was like, cocaine was all over Macon, but I think I had the best. If you want the best, you came to see me. So no, I didn't force anyone. Because if they weren't going to get it from me, they were going to get it from somebody else. And like I said at the time, I didn't know. I just wanted to help my mom out.
What I never heard about you, and what I was impressed about, I never heard that you had people murdered. I never heard that Jerry Anderson caused XYZ to lose their lives. So you weren't you were just an entrepreneur dealing in illicit drugs.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, I always taught myself.
A hustlepreneur, they call it.
Yeah, there you go. I always taught myself, never bring guns into play. Because if you bring guns into play, there's going to be murder, and the police going to come get you, going to go to jail forever. It was just all, well, somebody came and robbed me. Just give it to them, let them go, and find out who they are later on, put the baseball bats on. That's all I do.
But no murder.
No murders.
Now, you were given how many years in prison? You were
I was given three life sentences and 325.
3 life sentences.
Right.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Now, of course, you're the beneficiary of President Obama's clemency program. Yes. And you spent how many years?
I did 28 years behind bars.
28 years. That's a generation.
That's right.
And so you hope to use your remaining life. You're still a young man compared to me and some of my peers. You're still a young man. And you hope to use this story that you have to tell, which is a very compelling one. You hope to use it to do what? What do you hope to gain in the community, and how do you hope that it will help young people?
I'm hoping that it'll steer people from going the wrong way. So a lot of guys is going the wrong way right now. So I created that play while I was in prison, so when I get out, I can show people that you don't have to go this way anymore. You can go get a job, you can do the right thing, because when you're selling drugs, you're going the wrong way. You only end up in prison. The last ultimate for that all the time is you going to jail. You sell drugs, you are going to prison. So I designed that play to show them all the glorious, the good times, all I had. But in the end, what happened to me? But if you just go the right way and believe in God and let him come to you, he gonna always come on time and give you what you desire. You just have to be patient and stir the right path and don't go selling drugs or prison, death.
You know, you're not the first person who had a conversion in prison. One of my heroes, Malcolm X, had a conversion in prison. He went in prison as a pimp and a hustler from Boston, Dirty Red, they call him, with his hair conked. And he came out 7 years later as one of the most powerful voices in this nation, if not in the world. So there's a lot of good can come out of.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, should we look at you and say with suspicion, is he really real? Is he ready to, is he walking the walk or just talking the talk? Are you walking the walk?
I'm walking the walk. I talk to a lot of kids. I go to a lot of centers. I go to a lot of people's houses, and I talk to kids, and I'm trying my best to still, if I can save one person, I'll be all right. I just want to keep people from dying. So many people die here, and people scared to come to make them because of all the deaths. So that's why I said drug selling and killing, all the gunplay need to cease. If people need something to do around here. It's not anything to do. Out of 6 o'clock, everybody in the house, except the guys that out doing the wrong. You give them something to do, you ain't got to worry about their problem. So
you mentioned God and the role that he played in your turnaround and in what you're doing now. Were you always a spiritual person? Prior, you mentioned your mother and that you had love for your mother. That's a good thing.
Yes.
And you wanted to help her and her situation. We all want to help our mothers. But were you exposed to God early on, or is this something that came about in prison?
When I was a kid, my mom used to get us up every Sunday. We stayed until night. Put on your clothes and go to church, give us a dime, go to church. Every Sunday I was there, God always been in me. Always going through prayers and everything. I on my knees every night. I go to church every Sunday. I'm always praying to God, always. Even when I was selling drugs, I go home and get on my knees at night after I walk from the leaf from the drug, count my money, get on my knees and pray, then go to bed.
So God answered your prayer because he had a ram in the bush in President Obama, who saw fit to that nonviolent. You were nonviolent, like I said.
That's
you were
right.
a nonviolent offender. You hadn't killed anyone, and he just thought that some of these sentences were too egregious for nonviolent things such as cocaine, because he admitted himself that he used to dibble and dabble in cocaine as a college student. So do you see that as a divine intervention in your life and say, I've been given a second chance, so now I'm compelled to do better and to help others do better?
Yes, because every night for 28 years I had to get on my knees and I had to always go up by giving me another chance. Please, if you just give another chance, I go out there and do whatever you want me to do. God told me, I'm going to free you, but I need you to go talk to the kids and talk to the gang members, get everybody on the right track to keep save many people you can. So when President Barack Obama came when they told me I had a clemency.
How did you feel? What time of day? Take me to that, because I've been in jail a couple of times myself, but only for a few days, and I know even after 3 days, I was so happy to get out. But how did you feel when were your hopes high that it would happen, or it just happened unexpectedly to you? You knew it was happening.
I put the clemency paperwork in, but I thought I wasn't gonna get it because nobody want me out. So I just people had to make me put it in. So I put it in and left it alone. I'm standing in front of my door one morning about 11 o'clock, and the counselor come through with 6 envelopes. And everybody said, she got envelopes, them the clemency paper, who gonna get clemency? So I'm standing there talking to this old guy. She peeping in all the rooms, so who all gonna get the clemency? She walked right past my room and she go down and start talking to somebody else. And that's another. So I said, I ain't gonna get it because she done walked past, she ain't look in my room. So I'm standing there talking to the man and she holler out, is there an Anderson in here? But there's 2 Andersons in the unit. So the guy over there, his name Anderson. So she said, come here. She called him. So I said, I know I ain't getting it. So she asked him about clemency. He said, I ain't got to put no clemency paper. I'm hearing him tell her, I ain't put no clemency in. He said, I come here for a gun charge. So she said, well, Anderson, she said, you want him? Pointed up there at me. She said, you Anderson? I said, yes. She said, I'm looking for you. I said, looking for me for what? She said, come down, I want to talk to you. She said, I can't tell you what's going on because your attorney don't want me to tell you right now. I said, what you talking about? You need to tell me something. What's up? She said, I can't tell you now, your attorney gonna call. But my attorney was on the plane flying back to Atlanta to tell me herself. But then she was gonna be late. So she told her to tell me. She called me back in and said, look, your attorney told me to go and tell you, you have been granted clemency. Man, you talking about, I can't tell you how I feel, man. I want to jump up and scream. I still feel that same feeling. When you know you can't never go home, and now you just got the word that you got clemency, you finna go home again, man.
Are you a father? You have children?
Yes, I got 4 kids.
4 children. So you've been reunited with your children,
Yes,
and of
sir.
course you missed big part of their life.
A lot of
Where were you? Where were you incarcerated?
I was in Atlanta when they came, so.
Were you in Atlanta federal penitentiary?
Yes.
At their own Confederate, out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to wish you well, and I believe you when you say, because obviously you weren't a violent person in prison, because you wouldn't have been granted clemency had you. Right. So did you study in prison? Did you read? Did you, like Malcolm X? Malcolm X said, Malcolm X was a high school dropout when he went to prison, but he said what he did, he studied the dictionary, that he took every word in the dictionary and learned how to pronounce it, knew its meaning, and how to use it in a sentence. What got you through? Reading or prayer? Was it a combination of having a relationship with the men in there? I mean, having a relationship, by respecting one another.
Yeah, what got me, I would read the Bible every night. I try to go all the way through it and come backwards, forward, backwards. But my thing was I always played sports real good. And a lot of people knew me and knew of me. So my name was like a lot of weight in there too. So when people hear me, people come to me and just want to talk. People always telling me their problems, and I have to tell them what they had to do. And I'm solving everybody's problem in prison. So everybody liked me because sports and because I was a good hitter. I could talk to people, tell them what they were doing wrong and what route they need to take. And me, I didn't get caught up in prison. A lot of guys were institutionalized. Me, I always thought about being free. I always thought about being home every day. I thought about being around my family. I never allowed myself to put my brain inside of prison. I always kept them out in the street at all times. Because if you stay in the domino and gambling, you get institutionalized, and it's hard on a man's brain then. So.
Yeah, this program, and throughout this month, we are celebrating Black History Month, and this is part of our history. You are a young African-American man. You were when you went in, and you're a middle-aged African-American man now. Yes. But you have history. You created history in this. You're a historic figure, however you want to look at it, good or bad. But you still have a lot of chapters to write. So, what do you see in Jerry Anderson's future going forward?
Right now, I see. I'm doing play. I'm doing that play, The Rise and Fall of Jerry Anderson, trying to teach little kids not to go where I went, showing them right and wrong. And I got a book finna come out soon. And I also got people that trying to do a movie on me. A lot of people been talking. I haven't decided who I'll let do it. I'm just talking to people right now about the movement. So that's where I'm going. I'm doing the play to the book, then to the movie.
Are you actively involved in any church or synagogue or,
yes, I go to
mosque? Excuse me?
Union
Baptist Church.
Yes, Reverend Stanley.
Pastor Stanley, I know him well. He was on my program recently. He couldn't be under the tutelage of a better person. I ask these questions because, sometimes people say, we've been duped before, and there's cynicism that sets in sometimes. But I hear you, and not only do I hear you with my ears, but I'm hearing you with my heart, because we had another man in this town, and I think everyone deserves a second chance. God is a second chance God.
That's right.
But we had another young man in this town that went to prison, was a musician. I won't call his name, but you
I know you're talking about.
And he came back, and we embraced him, and he went out and said to our children as well, I'm here to help, I'm sure you never do it, but he wound up back in prison. So you were saying 100%, we'll never see Jerry Anderson.
You will never ever see Jerry Anderson do anything illegal. I sleep on the bridge. I'd do anything before I ever go back into prison. Sleeping on that steel and concrete for 28 years, never again. Man.
So our young people now, like I said, and my brother, I'm going to say this, my brother was murdered in this town. He was murdered in this town in 1993. That was the year that we had the highest murder rate, at 44, I think, a record. And people talk about it like it was some Super Bowl record. But so he was my little brother. So I see him more than a statistic. He was my kid brother. So, but yet here we are now. 28 years later, you come back home. And last year, we were talking about breaking the record again for murders. What is going on in our town? You were in the streets. Like I said, you probably know the streets, even though they've changed somewhat. So I'm going to ask you, how much have they changed from when you left to when they come back, when you came back in terms of violence and so forth?
They still about the same, but it's just a lot of killing now. And that's the part I ain't getting. People back in our time, we throw up the hand and fight it out, and that was it. But in these days, people just they gun each other down like it's sports, like it ain't nothing.
Is it because of drugs though? Gang? We hear this thing, gang warfare. Well, gangs normally exist. Now you could say I was in a gang basically when I was a kid because I was in Unionville, and if I came to Tender Heights, they want to fight. Or if I went to Pleasant Hill, we had to fight.
That's how it was.
So we had our little gangs, but we didn't have guns. So the gangs now, are they revolving around drugs, territorial, or just machoism, if you will?
It looked like it's territorial. Just around drugs, gang members, and it's just around drugs. And some of it it's just stupid killing. Some people just, man, you might get to talking. I might have on the red shirt. You crip, boom, you kill me. I call it the color because it's a color, blue, red, black. You killing a man and taking his life because of color.
But getting back to these colors, should law enforcement, and I'm not asking you to criticize law enforcement because we have some good ones and we have some bad ones.
Yes.
But should law enforcement identify, should young black men, or white men, but most of young black men we identify with gangs in this town, should they be restricted to wearing a color just because someone wants to affiliate? If you want to wear red, shouldn't you be able to wear red even though you're not, without law enforcement saying he's wearing red, so therefore he must be?
Yeah, I think a man should wear, you wear any kind of clothes you want, any color you want, put on what you want. Because I think that's because it's freedom of speech. You can do what you want to do. It's just.
But what you say to young people though, if you know that you're a target, if you know that they say red is Crips or whatever it is, and would you encourage young men? Well, don't wear red then. Or should they just? Should we the criminal justice reform that we're working on that started with you, with President Obama, to try and get rid of some of the stereotyping of young black men, that every young black man in the store is not there to steal, that every young black man in the elevator is not trying to snatch your wallet, every young black man is walking around the streets is not trying to open your car door and carjack you. But is that just a burden that young black men bear?
It's just a burden they bear, because I can't wear a red shirt on this side of town, and I got to take my shirt on, put on a blue shirt. I got to take my shirt on, put on a black shirt, because that's how it is over Macon. Each area got a place that got a color. And so what you telling me I can't wear red over here and over there? Because when I was in prison, I was told you can't wear red. And I'm going to wear whatever I want anywhere I want to. I'm not in that. But my job is to come talk to guys, let them know that it's wrong to kill a man by the color. And when you go to prison, you got to be there for the rest of your life. When you get in that, it's easy to get in that trouble. When them guys get in, when they in prison, man, you hear the guy that I was talking to, how they want to go home, how they break down. Now you finally get what you did was wrong. But when people's talking to you on the street and telling you all that was wrong, you ain't want to hear none of that. Now you behind bars, you want to go home. You got the rest of your life to be there. You got 30 years, you got 25 years, and you 40 years old. That stuff, it breaks them down then. Yeah. So.
Of late, I read in the paper recently, and maybe you read it, where judges here, one African-American judge and one female, and one white judge, Howard Sims, another Kova, I think her name is. But they have been given accolades for berating, in my opinion, I'm saying that, for berating young people that they are sentencing in their court publicly and think that will have an impact on the broader community. You think that's a good way to?
It's a bad way, because you got some of them young kids out there don't care nothing about it. When they hear stuff like that, it just make them go hard. Some black kids go harder, because he's saying himself, when I get there, they're gonna give me the rest of my life at 30 years anyway, so I might as well just go and go hard. That's how he thinking. He thinking that it don't make no difference, because they gonna scam me once they kill me, so I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. I am.
So you think your voice would be a better voice, if you will, when I say a better voice, a voice that would have more impact with our young people,
yes,
behind closed, not necessarily for the media, not necessarily for the TVs to be in there, but just a closed door, and get behind closed doors with young men, young African-American men, yes, who are headed on the wrong path, down the wrong path, and just trying to turn them around. You think that would be the...
That's the answer. You got to get them one-on-one and talk to them. You don't put them on TV, because it do something to them and make some Joe get macho when you put them on TV. And everybody that I get one-on-one, I can find, I know exactly what his problem is. They break down, they'll tell it to me. And I know exactly what to tell them, how to get out of it. And most of them went straight and doing the right thing. But when you put them out there in front of all the camera, around other people, they'll go, just macho. They're going to go macho on you.
What psychologists are saying now, and like you said, you came from a mother which was strict and disciplinary, took you to church, told you the right way, but you and my younger brother the same way. We all grew up in the same household, same mother, same father, but he elected to go one way and I went another way. So sometimes no matter what your parents say, it's the peer pressure.
That's right.
That can have a more devastating impact on you than even your parents.
That's right. See, with me, that's why I said, to see my mama crying every day. She been working at the hospital for 35 years. She got 7 kids. She had to raise. My dad left when I was 4 years old. And my mama would cry only to me. She would come to me and, Jerry, I need help. And she'd break down and just go to crying. And that would always break me down, because I knew I needed help. I tried everything, fire department, sheriff, everything. Couldn't get in. Nobody wanted the Navy, the Army, the Air Force. Couldn't get in. So the only thing was left with me, my mama need help. And that's when somebody came and introduced me. And when I'm making money and I'm helping my mama, I'm feeling good because she feeling good. My thing was just to help my mama, that was it. Nothing else mattered to me.
So, you know, I attended a course, a seminar some time back, trying to understand young black men and criminality, because we are not innate. Black people are not born to be criminals.
Right.
You know, we don't come out of the womb and say we're more susceptible for criminality than any other group. So it's a learned behavior. But what I came out of that seminar, and what you just said, was you told me why, that there is a reason for you doing what you did, even though it was illegal, but it was a reason. And that's what psychologists are saying. They need to ask young people now, not what's wrong with them, but what happened to them.
Right.
So if we understand what happened to young people, maybe we'll be in a better position to help them transition, rather than say, what's wrong with you? Why you know, but what happened to you? And what happened to you was you saw a mother with 7 children that you loved dearly, struggling to support you all, and you saw a way to help her, even though it was an illegal way. So that's what happened to you, because your father left and all that. Not to make an excuse for your action, but there is a cause and effect going on here.
That's what most young guys, the father ain't there. The black father, he's not there. A lot of them guys I talk to, it's because the father, they break down and cry to me. And I always hear them when I talk to them about everything. And I say, what? Because your dad, right? And they just go to crying. A lot of guys, they want to be around their father, want their father in their life, but he wasn't there, so they came and got raised by the street. So that's why a lot of them end up like they is.
Well, I look forward to reading your book, because I'm sure it's going to be a good book.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wish we could talk more here and get more information, because I'm sure life, you know, a lot of people like to know what was life like for you, a man who, and not only after you were in prison, but before you went to prison, from the time that you started your illicit trade until the time that how many years were you in business, if you will?
I started in 85 to 89. Got locked up in 89.
89 you were locked up? Okay.
Yes.
So 85, so you had a 4-year run.
Yeah, 4-year run. They always come get you around 3-4 years. They come at you.
Well, you know, in business, they say that normally a business fails the first 2 years, so you exceeded that. Not to make light of it, but obviously, I'm glad that you're back and glad that you're using your celebrity, if you will, because there is a certain amount of celebrity people. There are a lot of young people in this town, and even though they were maybe kids when you left, but they knew who Jerry Anderson was, and their fathers know who you are.
Yes.
And so don't squander that.
Never.
That is a lot of goodwill that you can do good in this town. And I encourage you to continue to do good.
Yes, sir. That's my way to go. I promise I'm going to come teach the kids. I never go wrong. All I can do is, like I always tell parents, anybody need me to talk to their kids, get in touch with me. I'll go one-on-one with anybody and tell you what the problem is. Once I can talk to them, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with them. That's my thing, just talking to kids now.
I want to ask you another question. How important is it when you are incarcerated that the family outside advocate and support, visit, write, or what? How important was that for you and your children? Did they have access to you?
That's very important because there's a lot of guys up in prison, family don't never come see them. They just out there on the yard. Home visits can't get them because they either far away from home. People's at home ain't got the money to come see them, so they just in there, and it makes it hard for them because they on the phone. You can't call because they got to call, collect. They only accept collect so many times, and they gonna not accept collect because they wasting their money. So to be there in prison to see your kids and go visit whoever you got in prison, go visit them. They need to see their family.
Education in prison. They've made a big thing. They said that you have access to education.
Yeah, you got it all.
Yeah. But that's not the place that young people should wait to get access to education. Yeah. We want to tell them to take advantage of it
now. That's right.
While they're out
while
here.
you're in the street, you're going to take advantage of it now because when you get in there, you're going to have to go to school. They make you go to school. You got to go to school or they'll put you in the hole. You're going to go to get you
in the hole. That's solitary confinement, I guess. That's what
you got to go.
Look, we are talking with Jerry Anderson, who was considered a drug kingpin here in Macon, as he earlier said. He was sentenced to 2 life prisons plus
3 life
prisons plus 25 years.
Yes.
And with the help of God and President Obama, he was given clemency after spending
28 years in prison.
Spending 28 years in federal prison. And now he's back in his hometown. He's not shying away. He doesn't make light of what he did to our community and in our community. He knows it was wrong, so he wants to make amends, and he is making amends. And he has a story to tell, and I think we ought to listen to his story, and we ought to receive him back in this community with open arms and help him as he continues to help us make this a better community, especially for our young people. And let me thank you for joining us, and I wish you all the best and Godspeed.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Until next week, I'm your host, Jack Ellis. We have our continue our Black History Month series throughout the month of February, and we thank you all for joining us. Until next week, goodbye.